Hello, everyone, on this gorgeous day where I am anyway. Let me know where you are. Is it raining? Is it hailing? Is it sunshining? You can see the sunshine in the background right here. And I even got my sunnies on. Today, I wanted to talk about this concept of your inner critic. So, one thing that every single human on the planet has in common with each other is that we all have an inner critic. Now, our inner critic for some people is more critical, for other people, it's more loving, but for most people, it's our critical voice. And it's our critical voice where we might look in the mirror and say, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, I'm not brainy enough, I'm not successful enough, I don't have a successful relationship. It's the part of our mind that goes around and around and around and that causes our anxiety and depression. So when you have anxiety and when you have depression, what it means, obviously there's a complex layer of what it means, but the simple version of what it means is that your inner critic is working overtime and you are listening too much to your inner critic. So one of the arts with growing as a human being and being kind to yourself and learning to have self-compassion is to understand exactly how to have these conversations with your inner critic. And what you can say is you can give it a bit of a personality. So I call my inner critic Frank. So I will say, okay, thanks for your contribution. I don't need to listen to what you're saying anymore. I'm going to be listening to this other set of evidence over here that tells me something different than what you're telling me. So you can acknowledge that it's there. You can acknowledge its contribution and say, actually, your usefulness has come to an end. And now I'm going to be listening to other forms of evidence that demonstrate to me that I am kind enough, that I am pretty enough, that I am intelligent enough, that I am enough. If you go to therapy, if you go to coaching, if you have any kind of inward looking, self reflective kind of practice, you will understand that at some point you will always come up against this question of whether or not you feel like you're worthy of being on the planet. Now, the interesting thing is that many of us think that we get our worthiness from doing a task well, or from achieving something impressive, or for being a good friend, or being a great mum. But the actual absolute truth of the matter is that we are worthy simply because we're humans and we're on the planet. We don't have to earn the worthiness from someone else. So when you're developing your relationship with your inner critic, you can say to your inner critic, I know I'm worthy. I'm on the planet. I'm a human. That's all I need. I don't need anything else that you're doing or saying on my behalf. So what I would suggest to you is learn to have constructive conversations with your inner critic. Learn when to tell your inner critic to shut up, to butt out, that you've had enough and that you don't need anything else from them. If you learn this kind of conversation and this way of interacting in your own internal world, you'll be much, much more able to live a life where you feel like you're thriving. And that's the goal that we all want to have, to feel like that we're thriving.